The first wave of Jeffrey Epstein's files have been released. Really? Let's check it out. Let's jump into this immediately. This is a suggestion via a channel member, guys.
This is a Fox News alert. The Epstein files have been released. Fox
go.
News senior national correspondent Kevin Corke has been pouring through all the documents. Kevin, what can you tell us?
Evening, Laura. I don't want to oversell this because I don't think there's a whole lot to sell, at least so far. We'll probably learn a lot more tomorrow morning by that 8 a.m. deadline that the AG has given the FBI in New York to turn over everything in their possession. But let me back up for just a second. The Attorney General, you recall last night, called it breaking news. She promised that we would get the Epstein files today, and while that turned out technically to be true, what we've seen so far, critics have argued tonight, really hasn't lived up to the dramatic billing. Now, we began the day with somewhat high expectation, having seen some influencers with so-called Epstein file folders. But that began to fizzle just a bit because we really didn't get a lot of new information. So once we saw that, we wondered, what about the Attorney General's? Was she holding back? Well, she actually wrote a letter, Laura, to the FBI Director, Kash Patel, suggesting that the FBI's New York office, which collected material...
Let's go ahead and read this here, guys. So dear Director Patel, before you came into office, I requested full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consist primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers. I've repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated request, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, which will be tomorrow, the February will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and visual recordings, and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how such information was obtained. Oh, that's intriguing. That's a very intriguing line, actually. Where were we at here? There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with law. As I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. Let's see, where are we at here, guys? I am also directing you to conduct immediate investigation into why my order to the FBI was not followed. Most likely, bro, the people in the New York office probably just don't like you. They don't like Trump, right? And what they're doing is they're basically protesting by giving you lesser information, obviously. But let's go ahead and continue, guys.
From the SDNY, that's the Southern District of New York, it seemed to be, for lack of a better description, stonewalling, holding back key materials. Now, the FBI director, obviously concerned about this, went on X, and Director Patel wrote a fairly lengthy post in it. He said there'll be no cover-ups and no missing documents and no stone left unturned. And anyone from the prior or current bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. He went on to say if there are gaps, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them, and we will bring everything we find to the DOJ to be fully assessed and transparently disseminated to the American people as it should be. So you may be wondering, okay, after all that, Kevin, what do we have?
What do we have?
So far, we do have 7 flight logs. We have an Epstein contact book.
Yeah, guys, I had 100% figured that a lot of things were going to be redacted with what is actually being released. And the problem is some of these redactions would tell a bigger story, guys.
We have a masseuse list, which strangely was redacted.
What's the point?
Now, I should add this as well, Laura. Many of the names that we saw on the flight logs, at least so far, mirrored some of the names that we've seen before. There was obviously a criminal action that involved Ghislaine Maxwell. Some of the names on that flight log list, we've already seen those before. But what was interesting so far tonight, and I'm still going through it, we did see a few names in that contact book I told you about. Among them, Michael Bloomberg, Alec Baldwin, and former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair. Again, we're still going through it. As I get more information, I promise to pass it along, but that's what I have so far.
All right, Kevin.
All right, guys, here's the thing. So we definitely know that a lot of names are going to be named and divulged and all these other things here, guys. But I'm also not sure that every single person that are on these flight logs had anything to do with like whatever happened on Epstein's island. Keep this in mind, he was moderately a socialite. People wanted to be around him. I just don't think that every single person that name is going to pop up is actually, has done something nefarious here. Now, could a good amount of them have done, or like a certain amount of them have done things? Probably. But everyone? Nah, it's too much, guys. So if now we're getting just redacted paperwork, it's almost like, what's the point, guys? A couple of, maybe about a year ago or so, there was a woman that had found like a little black book with information and things like that. I think that may be what he's talking about when he's referring to like a contact list. Like she just so happened to find Epstein's book, a little black book type of thing. It's just the weirdest thing in the world, that story. But, as the story progresses, hopefully we do find something that's like damning, let's say. But as of right now, I'm not really seeing that there's anything to even kind of speak too deeply about, guys. So, all right. In the meantime, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. The fact that you just made it to the end of the video says a whole lot, actually. We have a couple other channels. Mr. Mrlboyd Music, Mr. Mrlboyd Movie Reacts, along with Mr. Mrlboyd Discusses, where I just generally speak about the things that specifically matter to me. But in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.